Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Christmas Every Day! Glam rock albums of 1970 to 1976 by Peter Checksfield. Now he's brought out loads of books. I've got a few here. I haven't got all of his books, but I've got a fair amount. I love these reference books. They're just fascinating. And it covers a load of artists, some I'm fairly familiar with. Rolling Stones, ELO, but there's some that I must admit really don't know much about. And like Jet, I can't say I particularly know of any. Obviously, a Paper Lace, I remember them. Sailor, the sensational Alex Harvey band. And of course, everyone will have their own ideas, whether it's glam or not. He mentions that, of course. It's still a great reference. But before I go through that, I'm just going to quickly show some of his other books. This one is excellent. The Ultimate Guide to UK Glam Rock on TV in the 1970s. Absolutely fascinating. Lots and lots of reference to lots of shows that are probably very hard to find. See, some are on YouTube, some are probably elsewhere. This one is brilliant. I love this one. Top of the Pops, The Lost Years Rediscovered. Just full of zillions of bits of information. Of course, lots and lots of pics, which is great. But also many sort of performances you'll never probably ever see. Maybe some recordings of, I guess, but you'll never see them in terms of visually. Well, they might turn up. Who knows? Maybe there's a massive reservoir of old Top of the Pops somewhere. And one day someone will find them, and yee. And this one's probably more, because of course Top of the Pops regularly shown on BBC 4, and they're always fascinating to watch. Not all, but this is a massive list of all the ones from 1976 to 1986. I want to feel bring out ones that later. Top of the Pops was going after 1986, I'm certain. Anyway, still brilliant books. Are two massive tomes. I love them. Absolutely brilliant. And this one, Let's Stomp, American music that made the British beat, 1954, 1967. Really superb guide of lots of great songs. And it is always fascinating to find out the original versions and also versions that are done by other people. You've got like Mona here, like Rolling Stones, Nashville Teens, the Liverbirds, the Trogs, and so on. Just fascinating just going through that. You think, oh, I must listen to that version or that, go and get that version. It's just brilliant. Still. Brilliant book. So let's just get to the one, let's move those out of the way and get to the actual book I want to quickly review. I think this is just great. Got a lovely little introduction, given sort of the criteria that he's using, which is good. Obviously, not particularly many Americans. Obviously, Susie Quattro gets in there, Sparks, but most of course, the rest are like Slade, David Bowie, etc. And all the pages got the same format. So they've all got here, play it loud. So you've got the picture of the album. Unfortunately, I haven't got the back cover. That would have been nice, but I guess maybe just having the cover is fine. But I always quite like the back covers as well. Quite often they're quite fascinating to see. But also it's got obviously a listing. It's also got peak UK chart position, also bits about singles, etc. And a nice little blurb about it. And also, quite interestingly, the TV promotions of the various shows that they appeared on to advertise this. And I think it's just great. Mott the Hoople, Hot Legs. Like I say, many of these ones, of course, 10cc. I didn't know particularly Hot Legs. I can't remember. And it is fascinating when you read like the listings. It's got obviously listings of all the music, and you think, oh, wonder what that sounds like. Especially some of the things that reference a lost classic of something. You think, oh, you know what? Let's have a listen to it, because millions of songs just disappear completely, and it is nice to rediscover sort of song. You think, wow, that was a really amazing song. And maybe at the time I thought it was amazing, but completely forgotten about since. So it's got Mud in, it's got Slack Alice. Now, Slack Alice, I had never heard of. And it says here, obviously, talking about perhaps sounding a bit too much like Susie Quattro. So there's nice little references to that. It's possible. I must admit, I haven't heard any of their music. I'm just going to go off and have a listen to some of their songs. Roxy Music, I remember those ones, and it's just full of like Bay City Rollers. So people will turn around and say, well, that's not this or that's not that. I still think it's great to have. So you've got the cover there again. I'm not going to show all what's in this book, but you can see the general idea. Very well written, lots of information. Not every single album has vast amounts of comments. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you decide? This one, Fox. Another weird, but etc. It just mentions a little bit, little blurb, a line, but that's probably about all you can say about some of these albums. You know, you like them or you don't like them. Of course, it doesn't actually say whether he likes the albums or not. I guess he's put them in, that he enjoys it. But some of the albums, now he's got stars against these. Now I don't know. Maybe that does mean whether that's more important than nothing. It's possible. There's a reference at the front that I hadn't noticed. It's got 2 stars for that one, 3 stars for Mock the Hoople. It's possible. So you can see little stars there as well. It also, of course, got the island and the reference code for the album as well. The faces. And some of these, like I said, I've never heard. A nod is as good as a wink. Can't say I've ever heard of that album. So it's another one of these ones I'm certain is pretty amazing. I should, of course. But there's so many. So many. And this one, Lieutenant Pigeon. Who? I've never heard of him. Again, mate, more craze fun from Glam Rock's unlikely success story. Okay. I will have to discover about their music as well. Of course, a lot of Bay City Rollers and lots of albums. Rubettes, The Kids, David Essex, Electric Light Orchestra. Just great, just brilliant all the way through a book. And it all goes all the way through to 1976 and finishes on A Day at the Races by Queen. And I think it's just great. The further reading is also impressive. Really, really long list. You know, they are a long list. There's another page of long list of stuff, yet more books to go and look for. And of course, some are probably in print, reasonably easy to get. Some are probably harder. Sort of books that turn up in my local Oxfam. Quite often I'm picking up books like, oh, that looks fascinating. Story about Mock the Hoople or something, or obviously David Bowie. Quite a lot of books about him, but Suzi Quatro book, those sort of things. It's nice when they turn up, of course. And many of omnibus press, of course, lots of omnibus press. Also many crate space ones here and others. And you've got a picture at the back about the author and an index at the front, which is always good. So you've got all the albums there. So you can see there's all the list of all the albums. David Essex, you've got 5. You've got Sensational Art, Alex Harvey Band. And we've got there 7. Shawadi Wadi, 4. Silverhead. I'm not certain about Silverhead, but there's a lot. This one here, The Winkies. No idea. And that's on page 118. I couldn't say. But still, what a brilliant book. I absolutely love this. I'm thinking to myself, what's next? I wonder what book he's going to bring out next. Maybe Glam Rock singles. That would be nice. Maybe a complete sort of index of all the Glam Rock singles. There's probably millions of others as well. I would love to see yet more, but I think it's just great. May he continue to bring out more of these reference books. Absolutely, each and every time, I will definitely be front of the queue to buy them. This is brilliant, totally worth getting. Christmas every day, even if the title is slightly odd, because I said, I don't think there's actually anything particularly Christmas. And I've just got a book here that I love. Christmas number ones. Now, not by him, but still Christmas number ones. Maybe someone should bring out a Christmas albums book. There's another one, obviously, that someone could bring out a reference book to. But still, they're worth getting all the time. I've got zillions of reference books for music. I love music, so it's just great to get. So Christmas Every Day, Glam Rock albums, 1970 to 1976. Totally recommended.